up front, but I thought I'll give you a sneak peek into what we're up to at the group. So Helly, how's everybody doing? I mean, it's right after lunch. I'm right after like an amazing meal, it looks like. Is everybody good? There's energy? Okay, we're waiting to hear what's happening at the GoodGlamm group. Okay, super. Okay, so my name is Naiyya Saggi. I'm the co-founder of the GoodGlamm group. I'm also the founder of Baby Charcha, which is India's largest community for mums. And you know, when AdGully reached out and said, hey, we want to know more about what's new, what's Naya Taza at the GoodGlamm group, I said, well, it's a great time to actually give some of the sharpest marketing minds in our country a sneak under the hood and tell them about the launch of Good Communities. So, you know, everybody dreams about, I think it's a marketer's dream, right? We want to build this amazing community around our brand. We want to have people who are really passionate, extremely excited about our community and be loyal, you know, exponential evangelists, et cetera, right? But very few brands have been able to crack it. And you know, as you think about the future forward, communities becomes even more critical. I had a couple of sort of backstage conversations with some really amazing people right now. And you know, we know sort of digital ad spends, CAC is going up, right? Influencers, superb channel, but like there are very few now who are really still credible, still trustworthy, you know, and there's a whole sort of wave, I think, that's coming forward before us now that really are defining and telling us very clearly that communities are the future of the internet and communities are the future of brands. And if we don't play in communities and community building today, we will be late. So that's really the premise of my conversation. It's a sneak under the hood of the GoodGlamm group, and I'm happy to answer any questions at the end of it. But first, what is the GoodGlamm group? I will spare you all the text there, and I'll show you my amazing co-founders in this really nice photo that Forbes shot. So that's Darpan. He's the founder of the GoodGlamm group. He was originally the founder of MyGlamm. Priyanka, the founder of PopXO originally, my co-founder as well. And me over there, founder of Baby Charcha and co-founder now of the GoodGlamm group, right? And the genesis of the GoodGlamm group has been three founders coming together and saying, can we really create something big, something massive from out of India in the whole beauty personal care space? And what we've been, you know, very fortunately able to do is through a series of acquisitions last year, which some of you may be caught up in the press on, more than 12 at last count, acquired a bunch of beauty and personal care brands, amazing sort of path-breaking brands in their own space. So of course we had MyGlamm to start off with, but we also have Saint Botanica, Organic Harvest, Baby Charcha, Mom's Co, and Sirona, right? So we acquired these brands. We acquired a bunch of media assets. So Scoop Whoop, I mean, I'm sure some of you have come across these brands before, maybe interacted with them already. Scoop Whoop, PopXO, Miss Malini, Baby Charcha, and recently Tweak, Twinkle's company as well. So, you know, with our brands and our media cohort, we're reaching about 200 million people monthly on the media cohort. And on the brands, we are actually South Asia's largest content-to-commerce FMCG conglomerate. And the third, of course, is this amazing influencer marketing company. I just sort of talked about influencers and the wave there, but no one's been able to, people are trying. What the Good Creator Co is trying to do is, with its base of 1.5 million influencers, really create a science behind influencer marketing. And we have an amazing tech stack that was, you know, developed by the acquisition of Bulbul, Viduli, and Winkle. So it gives us access to a lot of data on influencers, the ROAS, the ROI, and you know, working with some of them across multiple stacks, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, et cetera, right, wherever they're relevant. And this leads us to the fourth vertical, right? So we had good brands, we had good media, we had the Good Creator Co, and now we have the Good Communities. And by the way, all of you are the first ones we're presenting this to, because, so yes, I just want to tell you this as well. Because we've been doing this somewhat in stealth, right? So, you know, here's the deal, right? When we are talking about communities, there's some very clear insights we've had, and some of the genesis of community building comes from our time building out communities at Baby Charcha, right? So you already had your social network or your communities 1.0, 2.0, if you will, which is all relationship-based, right? The network graph-based. So what gives us a right to even build communities? So the way the group is approaching this is that there's a very big unmet need on three things. One is deep interest-based communities, right? What we were finding were that people were creating and finding like-mindedness, which is the hallmark of becoming a community member, becoming friends in a community, if they shared deep interests. So let's say if I'm really interested in makeup and beauty tips, right? Or I'm really interested in, let's say, motherhood and parenting, or breastfeeding, or lactation, right? That's when I could even meet a stranger in another city, another locality, totally different pin code, never met her, never met her physically, right? But I form an affinity group, and that is the genesis of a community. So deep interests is the one piece we've really, really focused around in building out the GoodGlamm groups, communities vertical. And if you think about it, just take a think back, right? There are very few communities that are really scienticizing, if you will, deep interests, right? So on Instagram, you go and you basically follow people based on, some search and discovery mechanism. Here, on the Good Community Stack, we're actually asking you what your deep interest is and connecting you to like-minded people. The second big insight we had was it's extremely important to be hyper-personalized. One insight we had was that if you have a certain skin tone, or if you have a certain problem statement with your skin, or if you're a mother who's dealing, who's maybe 6 weeks pregnant versus has a 6-year-old child, right? Your needs are super different. And therefore, in making your community have meaning for you, it needs to be a hyper-personalized community to you, right? And personalization, of course, is based on life stage, interest, locality, language, whether you're a working person or a stay-at-home person, whether you're a creator or whatever, right? So there's a lot of personalization we are building in. And the third thing I want to talk about very clearly is that communities are not just of peers. So, keep in mind, of course, influencers are like the celebs of communities, right? But you have peer communities, which is people who, think about the last time you made a really important product choice. You probably talked to a couple of influencers, but if your friend who you deeply trust, or someone who you respect the opinion of, told you that this is a great product to buy, right? Or introduces you to a product, you probably try and consider that even more deeply. But the other cohort there, apart from peers, is actually the cohort of experts. So that's the other really big defining factor of the good communities. We're building out a community of peers and experts. And experts in our context have, doctors. So we have more than 10,000 doctors as doctor partners that we partner with in our community. We create a whole community of doctors, really, right? We have makeup artists, we have nutritionists, we have trichologists, right? We have mental health therapists. So there's a whole community, a whole universe of experts who we've integrated into our community. So I think these are the 3 defining focus areas for us as we build out a community stack, and that's our belief what will give us a right to win and be really different as we build other communities at scale. So why are we building out communities? So I think every marketer here knows, and everybody, and as a group as well, we've had a very, very strong funnel play out of content to commerce, right? Our CAC is the lowest in the industry. We have $1 being spent on a customer, on basically a new customer acquisition cost, right? But as we get deeper and deeper, and we want to go and scale further and further, and as we bring in more and more new brands into the market, it's extremely important to build a lot of brand trust, a lot of brand loyalty. And that can only come when you have real people, right, come in, become part of your communities, connect on things of deep interest to them, understand that they're experts who are also part of these communities, right, and who are there to guide them, and then have them over time make decisions, or at least have brand resonance with you. So that's the aim with the good communities, right? It's more of a slow burn thing. It's not like a flash in the pan that one day you will do communities and suddenly you see a sales spike. No, it's a slow burn, multiple touch point, multiple deep trust touch point, and hyper-relevant touch point that we create. And the idea here is that you can create, and we've already seen it play out in our pilots, loyalty, retention, and very, very deep trust amongst community members. And simple things like AOV from someone who's member of our community, time spent, right? Retention, referral, engagement, right? So we've seen all of this play out already. And of course, we've been giving too much of our data away to third-party platforms. Communities are a great way to really understand the richness of our data and really go deep into what our consumers need, and then co-create with them products of the future. So we talked about this, right? Interests, experts and advisors, the relevance, localization, personalization. And the last, but certainly not least, the other big aha moment we had. I talked about communities being a very slow burn thing, right? And which requires multiple touch points. So what we have done as well, extremely uniquely, is create an omni-channel stack on communities. So the meetup you saw right now, the Mom's Talk meetup, that was one of the 100 we've done in the last 3 months, right? So the omni-channel touchpoints, the offline touchpoints, which are either community-led or user-led, as well as, of course, with the online modes on WhatsApp, on our app, on our mobile web. That is a stack on which the community resides. I think this is really interesting, right? I went back to the whole deep interest conversation. So if you really look at deep interest, right, it's also an opportunity for us, from a brand perspective, to really connect the dots. So the user kind of lies here, right? The user could be, maybe coming in through, I don't know, MyGlamm, or through Sirona, right? And exploring the Sirona community. But as she's exploring the Sirona community, but she chooses a deep interest of, say, sex after baby, or sexual wellness. Now that's a deep interest that Baby Chakra also caters to. So in the process of exploring Sirona, this community member also kind of discovers Baby Chakra, right? So you're kind of like helping, instead of like selling a user different communities or different mission statements of different brands, you're actually hand-holding a user and saying, tell me what you want, and I'll introduce you to the right partner for you in that journey. And so this is what it looks like, really. This is what our community stack actually looks like today on our app, and mobile web is launching soon, and some of them it's live. You can actually follow experts based on your interests. You get your interests on your own profile, so you can change them. And of course, you get brand recommendations based on interests and users you followed. And we've done a bunch of like product development, integration. So if you think about the way we approach communities as well, there's a very strong tech and product team and data science team that's really backing the development of the community stack. And we have a bunch of tools that we built into our experience where people can actually come in, they can just see a user's review on or like a makeup routine. Let's the GRWMs that you see on Instagram, right? Get ready with me. But you see a real community member doing it. You can see the products she's using. You can, answer a quiz. You can also do like a survey if you want, right? And community members love this kind of stuff. They love polls, they love quizzes, they love contests. They love engaging with each other, giving each other challenges. So that's the other sort of product integration we built in. And that's how we get to know each user really, really deeply. So it's not at the level of, okay, this is a woman who's potentially a mom living in Lucknow. It gets even richer. Based on her conversations with us or based on her questions to us, right? We know whether she's looking for a red lipstick or a purple lipstick, or she's got a problem with acne, or whether she's looking at dry skin, and how can we serve her better? And yeah, I think we do a bunch of live chats with our experts, online, offline, with a couple of experts also, as I mentioned, in the fashion and beauty space. So that helps people with deep interest around fashion, beauty, clean beauty, etc., connect better and have more sort of learning points and aha moments through this experience. And yeah, and I think it's been really interesting to see the omni-channel approach really play out. I talked about the 100-odd meetups we've done, right? I won't play this video, you've seen one already. But it's not just about having a celeb in the mom's talk, right? It's about having real people come together and discuss real issues with each other, but based on the common interests, right? And then that over time links back to a brand mission, a brand proposition. Not directly, but indirectly. In fact, we've named our communities differently as well. It's not the MyGlamm community, it's a Glam fam. You're not a MyGlamm community member, you're a Glam star, right? So it's aligned, but it's not fully with the brand, right? The Baby Chakra and the Moms Core community is called the Mom Star community, right? It's not the Baby Chakra Moms community or the Moms Core community, it's a Mom Star community. The Organic Harvest community is called the Organic Squad community. So definitely a hat tip to the genesis, to the originating brand, but a very clearly defined and distinct and delineated brand community positioning in itself. And yeah, this is our aim. We are already rapidly scaling, and we're looking at reaching about 100 million community users over the next couple of years. Any questions? Please don't be shy.
So I just have to ask you, do you use technology to create this entire ecosystem, or what's the base?
Absolutely. So it's basically our own products and tech stack. So we have, we're one of the, actually the only D2C company in India that invested very heavily in product and tech from the very beginning, right? So we have a 150 member tech team for the group, not for just this, but they basically help build the entire stack. We haven't done a patent on it per se, but of course the journeys. So we talk them consumer funnels and conversion journeys, etc. They're very unique to us. So we've done a lot of. So for instance, we do a lot of co-creation with our users through the community. Right now, that is something that no one else has done yet. So that's something that's unique to us as a group. So we don't have patents per se, to your point, but it's something that we've sort of developed in-house and we've sort of launched it on our platforms.
You don't sell this data?
Oh, we don't sell. No, never. Yeah, but we do partner with brands, in case you're asking. So like the next Mom's Talk is going to be with a very large e-commerce major. Then we have Doctor Talks as well. So that's something that brands are partnering with, pharma brands are partnering with us on. Because again, for people, right, the whole sort of, I would say the content and the influencer ecosystem is somewhat well mapped out, right? But the community ecosystem is completely broken. And we get so many inbounds from people saying, hey, how do I build out my brand community? Or how can I figure out at least affinities in communities and bring them to even discover my brand in a certain context, the more conversational context, in the more deep trust context. So the meetups, for instance, to answer your question, right? We have, literally it's like a 4-hour experiential offline experience, right? So basically you can actually experience new products, you can co-create products, you can do, we've also done this, right, at Baby Chakra. We've actually come with like formulated products, but not launched products, and we said, hey, what do you think about this? So we get immediate feedback, right? So it's not the typical FGD, because this is actually fun, and people are very honest. And there are like, 100, 150 women who already have a very strong affinity for that specific, like, let's say clean beauty in that case, right? So it's a deep interest already, so they really know that stuff well. So they are there and they can basically comment and help us.
100 million is a big number.
That's over a couple of years, yes. Yeah.
If a brand which is focusing on women, they try to reach out to you, that you want to reach out to your community.
Correct.
Do you give them a filter as well into what kind of women they want to reach out?
Yeah, absolutely. See, right now, who are the women, right? The women are already, so, just to give you a sense, we already have, we do about close to 1 million transactions every month on our D2C platform alone, right? So those people are also technically, in some sense, part of our community stack, right? And we have a history of it, right, from the 6 brands we own. So, those are women who have come in with the intent already to purchase and discover and review and try. And so we basically say, listen, give me the cart you need, because we have the interest mapped out. So then we say, okay, if you want to engage, then let's figure out ways in which we can help you engage smartly. But of course, like in a way that's adding value to our community. If it's not adding value to our community, we will never do it. Because the community is, it's joining together to learn something, to get inspired, or to, or to connect, right? So that's how we typically do this. No, so we're actually, it's a great question. So the next one, it's still in the metro. It's probably going to be in Hyderabad. The one after that's going to be in Bangalore. So we did 2. We've done 2 already. One was in the main Mom's Talk, right? But in terms of the smaller branches, so this was like with some of the Cathay celebs. So we'll always have that in our marquee Mom's Talks, right, across the main metros. But in the ones that we're doing in a Nasik or in an Indore or in a Jaipur, right, which will also have like about 100 mothers. There we'll have, it'll be a bit of a different formatting. It'll be, more like a play date with mom stars, right? Where the kids are playing in one corner and the mums are here, and then we have activities with the mothers and a learning session or a workshopping session. So that's the format of those mom talks in different cities. So it depends, like, you're right, on geography to geography. But you're right, I think the tier 2 audience and the smaller towns, so hungry for this kind of programming. And what ends up happening is that from these, then they actually join our WhatsApp communities. So, it's been a really interesting sort of omni-channel experience we've been able to sort of productize for them. Thanks, great questions. Anybody else? No? Okay, I get let off easy. I like that. All right, thank you all, you've been great, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Naiyya, for the interactive session. That was quite interesting when it comes to building communities and having conversations on more deeper levels.